to announce how many troops he's going to withdraw this year from Afghanistan. It's going to be a substantial number. Cheney is basically, and he knows, the former vice president knows very well it's the State of the Union Day. He basically says he's trying to hurt the military, trying to degrade it. And you say?
Look, it's always very difficult to know the motives of any actor. And I have a slightly different view, and that is, what is Obama at core? He's a community organizer. He's a man who believes in leveling between the classes. He's a man who wants to go against inequality, to reduce inequality, and to bring what the left, he's a man of the left, will call social justice. What's the biggest model of that in the world? Western Europe. He's a European social democrat. Sweden, France, Britain, those are examples. And they are the entitlement state. What's his major achievement in the first term? Obamacare, nationalizing health care the way they have it in Europe. And until Obama, we didn't have it here. And how do you get the money to subsidize an entitlement state? In two ways, and the Europeans have shown us. Raise taxes, which we're going to hear in the State of the Union. Obama is very intent on raising taxes relentlessly and reducing defense spending. After the Second World War, the European countries slashed defense spending to the point where the French can't even airlift troops into Mali a few hundred miles away. And that's how they were able to fund the entitlement state. Obama, I do not think, wants to destroy the military. But his main objective, the reason he is president, and what he wants to achieve and to leave as a legacy, is to create a more, as he would say, socially just entitlement state like Europe. And that's why he doesn't really care about the cuts in the Pentagon, because that's where you get the money. And he wants to raise taxes because that's the other source of getting the money. So that's how I understand what he wants to do with the Pentagon.
Now, let me ask you some ridiculous questions, okay? And you're used to that from me, right?
That's why I'm here, to straighten you out.
Okay. Number one, why didn't you just say that? What you just said, why doesn't President Obama just say it? Because he'd have to run for office again. Why doesn't he just say it?
Look, I don't think that saying I'm a European social democrat is an appealing argument.
Right, he doesn't have to say it quite that way, but he can say,
but
listen,
what he does,
I want to spend less on the Pentagon and more on social justice. Why doesn't he just say that?
He's already said that in the inaugural address. He said we have to nation build at home. What does that mean? It is clear as a bell. We don't want to spend our money in wars. We want to spend our money at home. Okay, we don't want to spend it on cruisers.
It's all tea leaves with him, though. Just say it. Just say it. He won't.
He says it in every which way. He's been saying it ever since he was inaugurated in 2009.
He doesn't say the words. You read the words that way, but I bet you if he were here, he'd deny it all day long. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to modernize. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do it. He's never going to say, I'm going to take the money from the military and give it to people because I think that's the social just way to go about it. He's never going to say that.
He's a politician who understands that if you're going to win the argument, crush the Republicans, get this done in Congress, you have to speak the language of the people. So what does he say? He doesn't say I'm a Swede. He says, what I want to do is to have a very lean military. We don't want these wars abroad. We don't want to be the hegemon, the dominant power. What we want
he doesn't say
is to
that.
be
He
very
doesn't
wise.
say we don't want to be the dominant power, Charles.
Yeah,
he never said that.
He goes around the world apologizing for everything the United States has done.
I know what he does. He just doesn't say it. All right, I got it. Now,
but
look, I'm just trying to point out that I'm getting a little tired of the dance. You know what I mean? I'm getting tired of the dance. Now, you said,
but it's won in 2 elections in a row, his dance.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to dance anymore. Just say it now.
He managed, with the dance, he fractured the Republicans. He won on the fiscal cliff, and now he's going to want to win on sequester. And you know what the argument he's going to make on sequester is? The Republicans are the ones who are defending the rich, all the tax breaks for the oil companies, and they wanted to take the food out of the mouths of babes and take away health care from your mother.
Well, that was my next question.
That's his way of saying it.
You read my mind here. You read my mind here. He's not going to say.
That's what I do on the show.
He's not going to say tonight, I'm going to raise taxes. He never says that, all right? On the rich, he did, but he's going to say we have to close the loopholes, all right, on the private jets and the oil companies, no more subsidies. That's what he's going to do, which is, in effect, a tax raise. All right, so you agree with me there. He's not going to come out and say, I'm going to raise taxes again on these damn people. I don't like them and I want their money.
But you are conceding that he dances. He won't say it straight. He'll talk about loopholes when he really wants to raise taxes. So
but that's a good way of raising taxes for Obama.
That's exactly right. That's why he uses this other kind of language.
Right.
He wins with that.
Yeah, and that's what he does all day long. All right, the final question is, the State of the Union is just propaganda to me. I've been doing this 35 years. I don't think I've ever heard a pithy statement from any president. They say, oh, we're doing great. We're doing great, and whatever I do is going to help you. Every president, every one. Am I wrong?
Look, the reason he's giving this speech is not so that he lodges a pithy statement in the memory of the nation and it gets engraved on his tombstone. He's giving this speech to crush the Republicans, whom he already has on the run, because he knows that the only thing standing between him and this left agenda that he wants to enact, which was stopped in the last 2 years, is to neutralize, to marginalize the Republican House. And if he does that, he started that with the fiscal cliff, he split them and he neutralized them. If he does it with the sequester and these other arguments, he then has the high road unopposed to controlling Washington and to change the country the way he said he would and the way he started in years 1 and 2.
All right, Charles Krauthammer.